deflect the things that you don't want coming into your life. And I believe that the more you do,
Ladies and gentlemen,
you are now about to witness
the journey that is the Life Choices podcast.
Yeah! Falling asleep. Sometimes it's difficult. I don't know about you out there, but over the course of my entire life, I've gone through most of my teenage years and through my 20s. I could take up to 3-5 hours to fall asleep. In my early to mid 20s, when I was working in the restaurant industry, living by myself, when I went to bed, and this still happens from time to time currently in my life, the whole saying of the hamster on the wheel, that is going on in my head. And I feel that those of us out there who do have problems with sleeping, it is because when we go to bed, we have so much going on up here that it prevents us from falling asleep. Once I got into yachting and I was working 18, 16, 19-hour days on my feet, it seemed to help me because I was able to just pass out right away because I was so tired. My body was just like ready to shut down. But as I've grown as an individual and as I've educated myself through reading, researching different topics as to how health benefits come with good sleep. So what I do now is I've gotten into a new thing for me, which is kind of becoming more mainstream now, which is breathwork. There's a few practices that I do on a regular basis now to help me fall asleep. What I do is I used to sleep with my cell phone plugged in on charge and not just beside my bed, but like directly under my pillow. And I always used the excuse that a parent fell ill or a family member, something happened and I needed to get hold of, and I needed to be gotten hold of. You know, my phone was under my pillow and it could vibrate and I'd be there. But I realize how horrible that is because we have our cell phones with us so much. Electromagnetic whatever it's just pulsing all the time, whether it's in our pocket or, beside our head while we're sleeping. So what I chose to do is I take my cell phone after I make my last phone call or after I've done my last bit of research or my scrolling, whatever it might be for you. I plug it in on the other side of the room because I just don't need to be gotten hold of while I'm sleeping. Those are the hours that I have specifically decided that I can sleep. As you know, I have a routine. So I try to be in bed around 9-ish and, finish up my day with my meditations and my breath work and then sleep by 9:30 and up at 5. 4:30, the alarm goes off, but it's a slow alarm. And then I get out of bed at 5. So putting the phone away from me separated the anxiety of needing to be a person that could be gotten hold of. And it stops the whatever the technology is doing to us while it's super close to us. I'm at least preventing that for the better part of 7 hours while I'm sleeping. Besides all the regular daily practices that I do at the end of the day, such as my prayers at night, my gratitude list at night, and some visualization and some meditation that I do, I make sure, because I'm doing all those things, I'm not looking at my cell phone and I'm not looking at the TV for a period of probably 30 minutes to 45 minutes before I actually close all the lights off and go to sleep. And I think we can all agree that the overstimulation of the TVs and the cell phones and all that information that you're just scrolling through is preventing you from falling asleep because now you have all this. It's like eating just before bed. Your body's doing so much work now to break down the food that you're not able to fall asleep because there's so much going on inside your system. It's the same thing with your brain. If you watch a movie and go straight to bed, for those of you who have issues falling asleep, it's going to be difficult because you're amped up about the movie, or you're a bit scared because you watched a horror flick, or it was a drama, or it was like a rom-com and you just feel like, oh, I need to find my like so much that you're unconscious about is happening inside your brain when you go to bed. Not having your cell phone near you and not looking at any screens for at least 30 minutes before you go to sleep is absolutely super important. The breath work aspect of it, for me, I have participated in yoga on and off since about 2016. So better part of almost 10 years. I'm not always going, but I've learned a lot and I've practiced a fair bit that I understand certain aspects of it and the importance of it. The one big thing for me that I've been doing probably for the past 2 or 3 years is the specific type of breathing that one is supposed to do while practicing yoga. I take that into my nightly routine before I go to sleep. So it's deep breaths at the back of your throat and exhaling and concentrating on your breath. Now, there's all different techniques. You can Google, you can research, you can search through TikTok and find different breathwork coaches. You can find different breathwork techniques. And with everything that we talk about here, breathwork, manifestation, meditation, journaling, it's all based on what you feel comfortable with. It's not do exactly what we're saying and it'll be great. It's you need to find what works for you. And for me, that type of breath work of deep breathing in and slowly out, and then focusing on the actual breathing, which takes time, it takes practice to be able to do so. I notice with myself that I all of a sudden start to float away. Like I can absolutely physically and mentally feel that I'm drifting off into that realm of sleep. Then there's a whole other world. That's another topic. I get excitement when I start to dream because I'm able to dive deeper into the abilities to manipulate the dream itself while I'm having it. Back to the breath work. Some people feel like, one big breath in for 4 seconds, holding it for 5 or 6 seconds, and then letting it out for another 8. That could work for you. And you don't have to be lying down. You could be sitting up on the edge of your bed. Whatever you feel comfortable with, I believe that those practices is exactly what allows me when I start to notice that I'm having a hard time falling asleep on a regular basis, like 4, 5, 6 nights a week. I come back to these practices and remind myself how important it is to be consistently disciplined in my practices. And I start focusing on all the normal stuff that I do, all the writing to let go of my day. As some of you know, I take my dog for a walk at night and I reflect. I review the day and I reflect on it and I speak to God and I just kind of let go of the day out there. I come inside and then I, write my gratitude list. I write my manifestation slash visualization techniques in my book. And then I mentally, I do as much as I can to let go of all of the thoughts in my head that may keep me awake. And then I slide into my breath work exercises. And I notice that when I am vigilant and I stay on top of these tasks and I'm able to drift off to sleep with a bit more ease, and I'm able to notice when my thoughts are too much at the end of the day, and therefore I know that I have to put more effort into all of those practices, including my new one, which is the breath work. On top of that, what I noticed is quite helpful, as we've talked about before, is starting off your day on a good high positive feeling with inside here. What you can do, again, before you wake up, when the brain first switches on and you're aware that you are now no longer in the realm of sleeping, you can add, your positive thoughts for the day, and you can add your intentions of accomplishing your goals for the day. But even before you get out of bed, this is a new thing for me that I started when I filmed this episode, which a couple months ago, is the breath work in the mornings, is the deep breathing in and the long exhaling. And there's, like I said, there's loads of information on the internet, as well as in reels and TikToks and wherever you find, your information, books, obviously. But if you do this inhaling and exhaling breath work in the morning as well, then you will feel different. You will be adding some energy into your body, and you will be waking up the cells and everything within you to actually start your day feeling different emotions, feeling like you can accomplish whatever it is you want to do. It changes your chemical structure by doing breath work and adding those positive, intentional thoughts in the morning before even stepping out of bed. Now, if you're a person that feels fine in the morning and you get a good night's sleep after doing the breath work before bed and any of the other practices we discuss, then you might just find time during the day. If you ever feel unbalanced, if you ever feel unaligned within yourself, then take a moment, whether it's sitting in a chair, going for a coffee somewhere, grabbing some time on a bench by the water, whatever, you can do. If you add this breath work, and even if it's just for a couple of moments, like 2-3 minutes, a couple times throughout the day, I believe that you're going to be able to attack the day with more energy, more positivity, and you'll be able to deflect the things that you don't want coming into your life. And I believe that the more you do the practices we talk about, and the more you do these things to help yourself mentally and to create a more positive chemistry within inside of yourself, you will no longer be seeing the negative things that you don't want happening as often. You're a human being. Bad things will happen. We all have to go through this, but it's knowing how to maneuver through the rough or the bad times with a bit more ease, a bit more clarity, and a lot more calmness within yourself. And I believe in these practices because I do them, and I personally see the actual growth and the change and the better sleep, the better days, the happier emotion that I have, the ability to be a positive light around other people. Even on the days that don't feel 100% great, I can still conjure up those feelings and thoughts because I do the practices so regularly that when I start slipping, it jumps into my brain. Oh, why don't you take a moment to go do some breath work? Oh, why don't you take a moment to go write down your thoughts? Why don't you go take a moment to just sit there and be grateful for the fact that you have this moment right now to do just that? All of these things, I believe, if you do them regularly, you're going to be able to live through this journey with a bit more ease and a bit more mental health, and obviously with some physical health benefits, because if you get great sleep at night, you're going to be able to function better throughout the day. Thank you very much once again, everybody, for coming out here. I appreciate seeing you right here each and every week on the Life Choices podcast. And yes, we will see you next week, Tuesday at 2 p.m., right here at the same spot on the Life Choices podcast. Much love, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You are now about
The Journey Life Choices podcast.